Everybody, it's Rebecca, and hi again. It's been a while since I've been on, so I thought I'd pop on and say hi and just give you guys a update on a curriculum that we use. And we've been using a spelling curriculum and wanted to explain to you why we chose it and why we enjoy it. This is the only spelling curriculum that we have used, and so it's I don't have it to compare to anything else, but maybe if you're on the same journey, you have some of the same concerns or questions in regards to a spelling curriculum that I had, it might be one that you would like to check out. So first of all, we use All About Spelling, and this is one of the All About Spelling curriculum books. This is level 2. Yeah, right there. And it's by Marie Ripple. So if you're looking for a curriculum, you can go to allaboutspelling.com and find it. Now, the reasons we chose it were I have 2 children, and they are very different. My daughter is older, and it was time for her, really kind of beyond time for her to do a spelling curriculum. I'd been putting it off, and I wanted one that would teach the rules. She's very much, I don't know, studious, so she would sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper and she'd write out. So she loves to write. But I wanted one also that wouldn't just be about writing and copying. I wanted them to have rules to follow. And actually, strangely enough, the English language, when it comes to spelling, generally follows rules. And I knew that, but I never learned them growing up either. So I did not want them memorizing spelling words like I did. There's a lot of things that I do in my homeschool choices that I make when it comes to curriculums because I either want to emulate how I learned or do something completely opposite. And this one was an opposite. I did not like the way that spelling was taught to me, and that also seems to be the general way that spelling is taught in public schools, where they're given a spelling list and they might have a theme to them, but generally aren't taught rules. They're just taught to memorize and to see it visually. So I wanted that visual aspect. Also, I wanted a kinesthetic aspect for my son, who's very kinesthetic, hates to write. And so I wanted something that worked for him, and then also something for my daughter that enjoys writing and would rather just copy, but I wanted her to also understand some rules. So I started searching and I found All About Spelling. It has been incredibly successful for us. And I want to explain to you a little bit about the curriculum and what it entails and what we like about it. So here we go. Okay, so what does the curriculum entail? First of all, you've got a lesson book. And so let's just pick up my son's lesson book. He is currently in level 2, and we did start in level 1. And even if you go through it quicker, they do want you to start in level 1. Because you're learning rules as you go through. If you start in level 2, then you've missed a lot. So we have progressed to level 2 with him, and it's all completely written out, which is something I love. So if we go just to the first lesson, it tells you what you need to do and what you need to say and how you do it. And at the beginning of each one, there is, actually I skip ahead so you can see that. Up at the top, so this is step 9. You stay on each step until you feel comfortable that they understand what they're doing, and then you can move on. So there's step 9. It talks about what you're going to need, and then a review tells you exactly what to ask. Pull down the tile that says quoi and tiles. So that is on our board. Let me show you that. I just took it down off the wall. This board I bought at Target. I love Target. So here it is. Okay. And I'm going to just take a couple tiles off to show you. Oh, just dropped one. Now, the one thing I would say when it comes to using this over the course of a few years is that the magnets that came with the course aren't that great. They come with a set of magnets that you stick to the back of the tiles, and over the course I've lost a few because the magnets seem to lose their stickiness for some reason. So I bought a set of strip magnets and an extra set of tiles over the last couple of years. And as I've been losing them, I've been replacing them. The strip magnets, unfortunately, are a little bit taller than the other ones. So here's a strip magnet, and here's one that came with the course. This is a lot stronger, but now they don't sit exactly flat. But I kind of don't like the magnets that have come with it because of that reason, and so we're kind of switching over. But maybe if your kids aren't as clumsy as my kids, or even me, you guys won't be dropping them, and I don't know why they lose their stickiness, but sometimes they just slide down the board. That's the only unfortunate thing. So these are the tiles. There's B. Okay, so we have A and B right here. So these are, there's a couple sets, depending on the letters, 2 or 3 sets of each letter in there. And as you go through, you learn the alphabet. And instead of this being A, you learn it A-ah, because it has, well, A-ah. So A with the vowels is the short vowel sound, A being the long vowel sound, and Ah being the third sound of A. And B only has one sound, B. So at the very beginning of level 1, you're learning all of the sounds of all the letters, all those phonograms. Then as you go through, you start putting them together as teams. When you get into level 2 and you break them out in between syllables and sounds, and it takes you through every single one of those, and then starts teaching rules, which is fabulous because there are actually rules that they can follow. Yes, there are always exceptions to the rules, but then she teaches the exceptions. So as you're going through, you're using the tiles and you're using cards. I bought this box, oops, upside down, from All About Spelling. It's a card holder box. I did not buy this straight ahead. Kind of wish I had in the long run, but all I had was, I just bought index card box, and that worked for a long time. But after I got into a few years, it ended up being too small and kind of cumbersome. So I like this purchase. It comes with these holders so that once you grow your collection, it's not so, before you grow your collection, it uses up space, and it comes with these plastic divider tabs, which, those are fabulous. So I can show you the difference with the other ones that we originally got before I got this box too, and what happens. Let me go grab that for you. Okay, so here's my progression. The first time I got a box for my cards, I used one of these cheapos from Walmart or something, just a typical card box. The problem that came is that the cards that came with these, which are fine, are cardboard, and they bent over, and they're kind of falling apart because of that. So for my daughter, we use this one because she just has a few sets of cards in hers. And then for my son, we use this one that we purchased from All About Spelling. This one was definitely a better purchase. So if you're going to purchase a card box, you want one that's taller, then because the tabs are going to bend over. Actually, in something like this, the way it closes, it bends them over. So it's just, maybe it's me. I got a little OCD with some issues, and that was one of them. So it comes with these cards, and they're color-coded, and you're working your way through them. And each color is sectioned. There's a review tab, a master tab, and a future lessons tab. So at the beginning, it'll tell you to pull out certain cards, review them, teach the sounds to your child, and then put them behind the review. And every day you go through and you're reviewing the ones that are behind the review tab. Once they get them mastered, you just slip them behind the master tab. That's good. And then every once in a while through the book, she has you go through, pull out all the cards from the mastered tab, and just review them. Make sure that there's some that they need to touch up on. Stick them behind the review tab and look at them the next time. So there's 3 different kinds of cards. There's the typical phonogram cards. So for E, you're going to show the child this, and on the back is your answers. The sounds of E are F-E, and it gives you hints on what that looks like. Hey, look at that awful nail polish. Huh. I need to do my nails. So, sorry. All right. So there's those, and they have all the phonogram cards, and then the red ones are ones you're going to say. So the child sees the blank and you say, it says on here, dictate the sounds. Oops, let's see if I can get that for you. Ch, k, sh. Tells you the key words that make those sounds. And then your student writes or pulls down, or my children say, CH. Okay? So there's those. So not only are they saying it, but they're also repeating back to you when you say it what those are, which is great because when you're spelling and you're spelling the word child, they hear ch. Okay, I know that's CH, and so they can see it and they can read it and see it. And then there's key cards which teach the rules. So this one is CK is only used right after, and there is a rule. That rule is a short vowel, and there's the answer right there, a short vowel. So you're teaching rules, and then these are the words that they are memorizing and learning and practicing their rules on, and they go back here. So those are the cards. So you're teaching using the cards and the board, and then you're reviewing. And the board is really great, especially for a kinesthetic learner. They're moving them around. Every child has a little bit of everything. So if your child isn't majorly kinesthetic, they may not like the tiles so much, but it's still good for them to use them every once in a while. If your child is very kinesthetic and they'd rather do that than write, then sometimes that's just easier. You're using verbal and auditory at the same time. So it's a really great curriculum in order to use all three. Now, just real quick, a couple of the other things that are in there. When they get up into the older levels, they're going to be using strategies. So she gives you these neat, handy sheets to remind them, okay, this is the process. When they get into more complicated words, first you're going to pronounce it for spelling. So some of the words we actually say incorrectly per the spelling, especially like the word February. Nobody says that R that's in the middle. So when we practice it in spelling, we accentuate the R. So when we say February, and then they start to hear it and pronounce it for spelling. Then they learn strategies for analyzing words, practice their visual learning too. So they write it on scratch paper. Does that look right? Does it need to change? So visual learner is really going to like that. And then identifying the base word, that's a huge word. So they have these helps that do it. Plus, she's got word banks that they review every day just to kind of also review that visual learning. There's a jail, which my kids love. Basically what happens is they get a card that that doesn't follow the rules. He's a rule breaker. He needs to be thrown in jail. So you find a rule breaker, which I can't find one right off the hand, but I'm just going to grab a card. You identify the rule breaker, do some stuff to the card actually to prove that it's a rule breaker, and then you throw him in jail. Then she has you do some other stuff because he's in jail, but it's a really great way for the kids to remember what cards have to be thrown in jail and the rule breakers. So it's amazingly effective. And then as they go through the levels, she has a progress chart for every level, and my kids put stickers or they color them off or do whatever. So it's not a complicated curriculum by any means. But one thing that I really love about it is that it teaches rules. And yes, there's rule breakers, but they can at least get really close on most of their spelling because they're following the rules. And like one of my favorites that I've just learned with the spelling curriculum is have actually follows a rule. It doesn't actually say have because English words don't end in V. And she teaches it in the fact that the V will fall over if there's not an E over there to catch it. So the purpose of the E is to keep the V from falling over, like in the word love and have. And once those rules start, it makes complete sense, even to me. So those words that we've always thought were weird generally have a rule associated to them. And so I am learning how to be a better speller myself because I've never been really great, and it's been fun to learn with the kids with these spelling. One of the last things that I really loved all about spelling is that it taught my son to read. And my daughter was learning spelling, and I was realizing that actually this stuff would be really great for him to read. He was a late reader. My daughter was an early reader, awful speller. My son was a late reader, but he's turned out to be a much better speller. But I used the All About Spelling cards and the curriculum, and we went through level 1 really slowly, but it taught him to read. So if your child is a struggling reader, at least in my case, he struggled and struggled and struggled, and All About Spelling really helped him start to understand the words and the sounds and the letters and how to put them together. So that's another kind of a side benefit that we really, really liked about All About Spelling. So if that's something that you're struggling with also, I would even check out All About Reading. I don't know about that curriculum, but I would feel confident in taking a look at it and seeing if that would be something that would benefit you. So that's the gist of All About Spelling. Hopefully, if you've been looking at it, that's kind of sparked your interest as to whether or not, yes, this is a good fit for my child, or nope, that's not going to work. So if you have any questions, feel free to go down and leave me a comment, say hi, do whatever, hit the like button maybe. But otherwise, if you're not a clicker, that's great too. I will see you guys later, and have a fabulous day.